Number 10. Except they did! Phoboromus pattersoni was a breed of very large rodent, and this is thought to be the largest of its kind to ever exist. It lived around 8 million years ago, and though it looks like a large rat, it's actually the extinct cousin of the household guinea pig. You know, the little furry guys that are afraid of everything? Yeah, they used to be this big. So picture a massive guinea pig with a long tail and ever-growing teeth. It could grow up to 9 feet long and be as tall as 4.2 feet, according to a near-complete fossil found in May 2000. It was also semi-aquatic, like a capybara. Love a capybara. But its size might have made it look like a buffalo grazing in the water, from a distance anyway. The biggest question that surrounds them isn't just why they went extinct, surprisingly, but why today's rodents are so small if they are related to this beast. Only time will tell, or perhaps it won't. It'll be a mystery forever. Number 9. Hast's eagle. Get ready to meet the head honcho, the top predator in prehistoric fauna New Zealand, Hast's eagle. It had claws as big as a modern day tiger, a 3-meter wingspan, weighed 17.8 kilograms, and this creature was the closest thing to a mythical griffin. It was huge. Its main source of prey was the moa, which was a 3.6 meter high flightless bird. It would dive down from high treetops and crush its skull. It would crush its skull in its grip. Like, oof, like a walnut. That's how powerful it was. Its formidable size allowed the species to survive multiple glacial periods, but it wouldn't be on this list if it was still around. This species is also the most recent on this list, as it only went extinct around 500 to 600 years ago. There are cave drawings centuries old drawn by the Maori that suggest it might have been hunted by the Maori, as it was most likely a threat to some of the offspring in the families. Coincidentally, Haast's eagle also went extinct around the same time its food source, the moa, disappeared as well. Number 8. Arthropleura. 2 words. Giant millipede. There, now you know. If this is already too much for you, rest assured it no longer exists, otherwise it wouldn't be on this list. But let's talk about it so we can be a little more grateful for the ones we can squish beneath our Converse. Arthropleura, meaning jointed ribs, was a genus of millipede that roamed during the Carboniferous period. This creepy crawly measured up to 3 meters long, which is about 9 feet long, making it the largest invertebrate of all time. But thank goodness it was a herbivore, meaning it only ate plants. Doesn't really stop it from being terrifying. If you scream and squirm seeing a millipede the size of a crayon, you'd still want to burn your house down. So imagine seeing this thing. Maybe you could treat it like a dog. Number 7. The mega piranha. Check out this video.
At those teeth. I'm being extremely careful here. They just have such powerful jaws. I mean, that would take a serious sized lump out of you.
So imagine that, but bigger, like the size of your boogie board bigger. Bigger fish, bigger teeth, and I'm personally glad they are the size they are now. I know B movies have definitely capitalized on the tiny but mighty horror of these carnivorous fish, but head to South America, there you will find the real horror that existed back in the Miocene period. They found a partially toothed permaxilla, which is like the only part, like the upper part of its jaw, but from the size of it, it's presumed that this genus of piranha may have been over a meter long. So if that thing can take this big of a chunk out of you, imagine whole leg gone. Number 6. The Simlodon. Lions, tigers, saber-toothed supercats, oh my! The Simlodon was a massive saber-toothed cat that lived in the Pleistocene era and roamed within North and South America. The size of the cat itself is comparable to the size of lions and tigers we know today, but its fangs are the stuff of nightmares. They had 2 massive serrated 11-inch long fangs, perfect for tearing and shredding their prey. But their upper body strength was sublime and used to wrestle their meal to the ground to optimize their kill. So imagine like super top heavy. Now researchers used to believe that they took down massive beasts like bison, but it is more likely they hunted tapirs and deer. They lived around 10,000 years ago, and one of the reasons they might have gone extinct was the fact that they didn't diversify their eating habits. So when their food sources disappeared, so did they. That is a simplistic explanation, but just one potential reason as to why we don't have to worry about their toothy grin stalking us while we're camping. Number 5. The Sarcosuchus. A super croc that was afraid of nothing and no one. Don't be afraid. Regular crocodiles today are still absolutely massive and can grow past 9 feet, which is already big enough. I don't know why they shrunk, I'm just glad they did. Sarcosuchus were over 3 times the size of the ones we know today, reaching up to about 40 feet long. What did they eat? Humans! Kidding. They lived 113 million years ago, so extremely not likely at all possible. But if they were alive today, yes they would. They weren't picky eaters, let's just say that. The world was their Mandarin buffet table. Some researchers even estimate that they could take on a Spinosaurus and win. Spinosauruses, we'll mention later. Stay tuned. Though they probably stuck to the fast food fish variety in lake and rivers, because honestly, do you want to cook a meal or do you want McDonald's? It's a toss up. I get their mentality though. Sometimes they just want to up the game. Number 4, the Titanoboa. The largest nope rope to ever live, the Titanoboa. 45 feet, my friends. That's about 8 of me lying on the ground, or the size of a school bus. The Titan boa was the largest snake to ever live and ruled tropical areas of the world for, I don't know, 6 million years. That's dedication. Remains of the colossal creature were found in Colombia and were able to determine its size based on the diameter of its vertebrae. The size of this snake also helped scientists determine how hot the earth was back then. They know that the size of cold-blooded animals is dependent on where they live. The fact that this snake could get so large means it was a lot hotter by the equator than it is today. Wait, does that mean if the planet keeps heating up through global warming, snakes will get bigger like that? I don't want it. If you guys are still with us, remember to like and follow and just show us some love, because we're just a little baby channel and we need your support, and we'll give you lots of love and metaphorical kisses. Number 3, Megalania. Okay, I actually find Komodo dragons pretty terrifying. They're cool, but terrifying, and they exist in the modern day. They are massive, venomous, and cunning creatures, and if that's what we have today, imagine what a Megalania is. The Megalania is the ancient Australian relative of the Komodo dragon, though its closest living relative is the lace monitor. This creature was one of, if not the largest venomous vertebrae to ever live on planet Earth. Weighing 1,370 pounds and measuring out to 7 meters, this gigantic apex predator roamed over 50,000 years ago. Good thing I'm not that old. They got to have the pick of the prey, presumably feeding on marsupials, other reptiles, eggs, chicks, whatever they felt like. Early Aboriginal settlers in Australia may have even encountered them. Whether they were predator or prey, we may never know. Number 2, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I've actually never talked about T-Rex on MA or here yet, so here we are. Jurassic Park is one of the most iconic Spielberg movies because it brought to life creatures of such size and magnitude we could only imagine. The T-Rex sounds terrifying, but when Steven brought this colossal monster to the big screen, I wasn't the only one shaking in my boots. Why? Because of this scene. No! I'm so glad these don't exist anymore. Imagine if they did. The only thing tiny about these things were their arms. But their 6-inch long teeth and 4-foot jaw? No thank you. Despite its sharp teeth, it did not chew its food, it would often just swallow chunks whole. It even had a throat that absorbed the shock from struggling prey, like it was designed to do that. Reaching 40 feet long and 12 feet high, I'm very, very happy that they lived 90 million years before any of us were born. And last but not least, the Spinosaurus. See, promised. I love this name because it accurately describes what feature stood out the most on this massive dino. It may not surprise you to learn that the Spinosaurus had a rather spectacularly shaped spine. It had a large sail-like spine that was probably used to signify the species or used to store water. Researchers still aren't quite sure, but as to its size, this creature had a skull 6 feet long, all the better to eat you with. The Spinosaurus was longer and heavier than the T-Rex, therefore it wore the crown as the largest carnivorous dinosaur. And here we thought the T-Rex was the king of the jungle. Weighing in anywhere from 13 to 22 tons, its crocodile-shaped skull and sharp dagger-like teeth, they ate anything from fish to other dinosaurs, meaning they'd have no problem devouring you. Thank the asteroid, they are no longer with us. It is pretty sad that any of these species went extinct at all. After all, they were just like us and did everything they could to survive. Though at the same time, for the sake of our nightmares, I'm pretty content that they live on in history books and not in my backyard.
Starting us off at number 10, and an animal I only wish I would have been alive to see, is a human-sized penguin. Back in 2019, the remains of what can only be described as a giant penguin were discovered in New Zealand by paleontologists. The fossilized bones of the animal indicate that this giant penguin reached a height of approximately 5 foot 3 inches and weighed in around 176 pounds. That's about 80 kilograms. That's a big motherfreaking penguin. These large creatures lived in the Paleocene epoch around 56 to 66 million years ago. They were specific to the waters of the southern hemisphere, and it is said that they grew to be this large after the disappearance of large marine reptiles along with the dinosaurs, indicating that these penguins were able to survive and thrive, becoming much larger over time. The largest penguin on Earth today is the emperor penguin, measuring around 3.9 feet. If those penguins are called emperor, then I think I'm gonna call these guys mega emperor penguins.
Number 9, terror birds. Pretty much sums it up, but I'll fill in the facts for you. The forest racos were one of the largest birds to ever exist on the earth, and they certainly lived up to their street name. Once T-Rexes were extinct, these massive and deadly creatures stole the crown. Their jaws were so strong they could sever the spine of a large horse in one bite. They roam South America, and though scientists have a spare few ideas as to how they actually behaved, they are comparable to a velociraptor, except taller. Their height ranged from 3 to 10 feet tall, but also like the velociraptor, they could not fly, which was fine with any prey that were able to get out of their reach. Their supremacy as emperor predators lasted for about 60 million years until they mysteriously faded out 2.5 million years ago. No one quite knows why as of yet. Could it have been the environment that became their biggest nemesis? I guess we'll never know.
At number 8, we have the Pelagornis sansi. 30 million years ago, our cute little trips to the beach wouldn't have been so cute. We would not only have to put up with seagulls, we would have to put up with the much larger ancestor, the Pelagornis sansi. Back in 1983 in South Carolina, the first fossil of this massive extinct bird was discovered when construction crews began the expansion of the Charleston International Airport. This bird had a wingspan of up to 24 feet. That's almost 7.5 meters. If the sheer size of this animal wasn't enough to scare you, you'll be happy to know that it had a mouth filled with pseudo teeth, making it easy to devour its prey. Based on bone structures, scientists are fairly certain that this bird did fly, although they are not sure. Once a bird reaches a certain size and weight, it becomes much more difficult for it to fly without needing extra energy and power. But scientists believe these birds could have also used their wings to glide as well as catch the ocean winds to keep themselves airborne. Seagulls are annoying enough. Imagine a giant one that could also eat you. I would be intimidated, but if they also did that dumb, stupid, like, seagull laugh, I don't think I'd be able to hold it together.
Number 7, hell pigs. I know, it sounds like a biker gang, but once I tell you more about this creature, you'll understand the name. The Daedon is an extinct genus of massive killer pig that existed 29 to 19 million years ago, occupying North America after the dinosaurs bit the dust. They weren't picky eaters, which meant they would eat anything and everything in their path, regardless of size. Imagine a pig standing 6 feet tall and 12 feet long, weighing 2,000 pounds, with razor blades for teeth. Its head alone measured 3 feet and could take on even the most ferocious predators. Scientists aren't quite sure as to why they went extinct, but we are certainly glad they did. Otherwise, we might have been their prey, not the other way around.
At our number 6 spot, we have the Goliath beetle. Now, this doesn't really make dinosaurs look small, but this is the closest thing that is still alive that resembles the size of insects back in the prehistoric times. Also, we couldn't let Dewey get away with just one video that didn't involve massive skin-crawling bugs, right? The Goliath beetle is the heaviest insect currently on Earth, weighing in at around 100 grams or 3.5 ounces. They can grow to lengths of 11.5 centimeters. That's 4.5 inches. These beetles are native to tropical regions of Africa and feed on plant sap and fruit. These things move extremely slow and are fairly easy to catch if interested. I'm not. But please, just let them be and keep them far away from me. I watched a video on YouTube while researching and some guy let this thing crawl all the way up his arm. Are you crazy?
Number 5, the super croc. Imagine a creature that can make the crocodiles you've seen look like geckos. The Purosaurus was one of the largest crocodile relatives to ever exist. How big could it get? Well, About double the size of crocodiles today, so around 35 to 40 feet, and weighed 3 tons on average. Yeah. The colossal creature terrorized the waters of South America around 8 million years ago. An interesting fact about this guy though is that unlike a lot of its relatives, it was actually an omnivore, meaning that it didn't just feed on fish, but also vegetation. So the real moral of the story is that if you want to grow big and strong, kids, remember to eat your vegetables.
Coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the sperm whale. Hey, Rachel, you know what I can do?
What?
Speak whale. The sperm whale is one of the largest mammals on Earth and actually also have the largest brains on Earth. These aquatic creatures can grow in sizes from 49 to 59 feet in length. That's just under 18 meters. And can weigh up to 35 to 45 tons. That's a big fish. The whales also have a substance known as spermaceti in their heads that scientists don't fully understand the purpose of yet. Some believe that it actually assists the whale with its buoyancy. You know, its floatiness. They are also quite the deep divers and can reach depths of 3,280 feet by holding their breath for up to 90 minutes. At those depths, they search for squid and other delicious seafood prey. And the bigger, the better, because it takes a lot to feed these things. They have been known to eat about 1 ton of food a day. Me too, man. Me too.
Number 3 is a name I could actually say. Colossal squid. It should be no surprise to you given its name that this creature has made it onto this list. I mean, its name alone depicts a massive creature. You don't get called colossal for nothing. Thankfully, this creature doesn't roam any beaches, but instead prefers the dark, cold recesses of the Antarctic waters. Weighing in at over 1,000 pounds, the colossal squid can grow to an immense size of 46 feet. Right? With 8 tentacles and 2 arms, each equipped with sharp hooks designed to latch onto their prey, and they also kind of rotate on their suckers. Weird, right? So even if you try to get it out of it, it's like, that's exactly what fish do down there, I guess. They can consume fish as large as 7 feet and have even been known to attack sperm whales. Whoa, as some have been found with scarring matching the colossal squid. Okay, so I know that there have been dinosaurs bigger than this one, but it's still pretty massive and it's very real and they do exist and they're coming to get you.
Coming in at our number 2 spot is quite possibly one of the scariest animals to have ever lived on planet Earth, the megalodon shark. We're gonna need a bigger boat. These sharks lived during the early Miocene epoch to the end of the Pliocene epoch, about 23 to 2.5 million years ago. The megalodon, made up of compound Greek root words, translates to giant tooth, when boy oh boy did these things have giant teeth. The megalodon female could reach sizes up to 58.7 feet, or approximately 18 meters, and the males could reach sizes of up to 47 feet, which is approximately 14.5 meters. Female sharks could reach weights up to 143,000 pounds, which is about 65,000 kilograms. These are the largest fish we have ever known. In case it wasn't obvious and you were wondering, yeah, these massive beasts had quite the nasty bite. Its bite diameter was about 3 meters. Needless to say, they were at the top of their food chain, which is probably why they lived for almost 20 million years. Sadly, the closest thing you can get to seeing a megalodon shark these days are the bones in museums or to watch The Meg, starring Jason Statham. Warning, the CGI is bad.
Number 1, the blue whale. And finally, in our last corner, ringing in at 200 tons, measuring 82 to 105 feet in size, we have the one, the only, the blue whale. Blue whales are the biggest animals ever known to exist on Earth, bigger than any dinosaurs we have currently uncovered. Its heart alone weighs 400 pounds, and its arteries could be big enough for a small child to swim through, and it only beats around twice a minute versus our 60 to 100 beats per minute, which is insane. Despite being carnivores, and unless you get caught in the way like that man in Massachusetts this year, they are also gentle giants. They mainly feed on krill, which seems like a pretty small fish to satisfy such a massive creature, though it may be one of the reasons they get so big. But you may hear them before you see them, as their kips and calls can be heard from 1,000 miles away. Comparatively, a jet engine registers at 140 decibels, while a blue whale is closer to 188. Imagine being next to that when it just calls out to its friend. Nothing like Dory in Finding Nemo. Blue whales are currently on the endangered species list due to extensive whaling in the 1900s, collisions with ships, and garbage debris in the ocean. So hopefully we fix that problem before we lose the most amazing creature on this planet.
Starting us off at number 10, we have the fish made famous by Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo, the anglerfish. In case you're wondering which exact fish from Finding Nemo I'm talking about, it's the one that scares the hell out of Dory and Marlin and has the giant light attached to its head. Yeah, it scared Dory and it scared Marlin, and you know what, it scared all of us too once we learned that it was actually real. The anglerfish is a deep water fish that is also bioluminescent, meaning it can create its own light and glow in the dark. The females are the ones that have a glowing bulb of flesh attached to their head, and they use this to lure in all kinds of prey. Most anglerfish are about a foot in size, but some can reach up to sizes of 3.3 feet. These terrifying fish have an enormous mouth filled with crazy sharp teeth that are all angled inward. Ouch. As if you weren't scared enough of these fish already, anglerfish can eat prey twice their size. I mean, humans are pretty much twice their size, so does that mean... Never mind, let's not go there. Rachel, over to you.
Number 9, the green anaconda. Okay, look, if I'm being honest here, I could also put Burmese python on here too, because bottom line, they can and have swallowed a human being whole. Anything that is capable of doing that is nightmare fuel, and I don't need that. I don't need that kind of energy. The green anaconda is the largest snake in the world, capable of reaching lengths over 30 feet long and 12 inches around. They are so astounding that they have even been depicted as magical beings in South American mythology. Some local legends have even said that they can reach over 60 feet. But there has yet to be a confirmed sighting. But if there is one somehow hiding out there, it's basically the closest thing to a basilisk, and I ain't going to slither in close to one of those anytime soon.
At number 8, we have the Goliath tigerfish. This thing looks straight out of a horror movie, my god. This 5-foot large carnivorous fish lives in the Congo River in Africa. In the second episode of the hit TV series called River Monsters, host Jeremy Wade catches a giant demon fish, otherwise known as the Goliath tigerfish. Goliath because it's freaking huge, and tigerfish, well, because look at those teeth. Some of these massive fish can even reach sizes of up to 6 feet and can weigh up to 150 pounds or more. I know I said these fish are carnivorous, but they're actually piscivores, meaning that they only eat fish, such as the small Nile perch. Kinda like people who are only pescatarians and only eat fish. That being said, these things will eat whatever is available to them. There was once an attack where a little girl down in the Congo went waist deep in the water and wore a little waist belt made out of bottle caps to fend off evil spirits, but unfortunately this belt couldn't fend off evil fish. The shine attracted a large Goliath tigerfish and it made an attack on the girl. As far as I know, the young girl survived and she is okay, but this was the story that made Jeremy Wade want to visit the Congo. Yeah, Jerem, I think you're alone on this one.
Number 7, the Asian giant hornet. After hearing about this giant flying disappointment, you won't think the wasps we have are that bad at all. After all, they are called giant hornets for a reason, as they are the world's largest known hornet species ever. They can grow up to 1.5 to 2 inches, but their wingspan can span up to 3 inches. Thankfully, they are native to China, Japan, and several other Asian countries and have not been confirmed as established in North America, though they have been spotted. We especially dislike them on this channel due to the fact that they like to attack bee nests and destroy colonies. They are incredibly territorial and have been known to kill as many as 50 people a year in Japan, hence earning the name murder hornets. Need I say more?
At number 6, we have the emperor scorpion, or its Latin name, Pandunus imperator. I don't know if I said that right. Sounds cool, but I'ma just call it a big freaking scorpion. These scorpions are predominantly found in the African rainforests. They may not be as big as our other animals on our list, but let me tell you, they are still big enough to scare the hell out of me. These scorpions can reach almost up to 8 inches in length, and just in case large black claws aren't enough to scare you away, these freaky things can even glow blue or green underneath ultraviolet rays. They also have a stinger that can produce venom, but it is not considered dangerous towards humans. Yeah, right, look at this thing. You're telling me it has those scary upgrades and it's not dangerous towards humans? Yeah, okay, yeah, right. Next thing you're gonna tell me that dragons are real.
Number 5, the Komodo dragon. Dragons sound incredibly cool, but in reality, they would be absolutely terrifying. Terrifying yet beautiful, these slow stalking creatures only need to get one bite in. Their serrated teeth latches onto prey and then tears away, leaving a gaping bloody wound that will never clot, because that's the job of their venom. As the venom seeps in, their prey will descend into shock and potentially bleed out as they escape. Not potentially, they will bleed out as they escape. But this 10-foot long beast will slowly stalk behind and await the moment the poison takes hold.
At number 4, we have the tarantula hawk. Okay, but get this. This creature is not a tarantula, nor is it a hawk. So how could it get this crazy name, and what the hell is it? The tarantula hawk is actually a big wasp that eats nectar, flowers, and and one more thing, tarantulas, meaning it gets the hawk part of its name from coming down and feasting on its prey just like a hawk. These wasps are found in every continent except Europe and Africa and grow up to 2 inches in length, and yet they still can prey on tarantulas, which are a lot bigger than that. Once they have one of those creepy big furry spiders, they feed them to its larvae. Ugh. They have blue bodies and these large orange wings, and a good number of these wasps can be found in and around the Grand Canyon. So these wasps won't sting unless threatened, but when they do, it is apparently one of the most painful stings of any insect in the world. So in case you were wondering, no, Dewey has no plans on ever visiting the Grand Canyon now.
Number 3, the Goliath spider. Look, it's not bigger than me, but the only good thing about this spider is that you don't have to worry about walking into like a massive web. Thankfully, they don't make them because they don't need to. Also referred to as the bird-eating spider, these arachnids are ferocious when it comes to hunting. But funny enough, despite their name, they mainly gorge themselves on frogs and rodents. But how they do it? Ugh. They devour their prey by injecting them with a paralyzing venom, and since they have no teeth besides like their 2 1-inch long fangs, they regurgitate gastric acids to help consume them from the inside out, so all that's left of the animal is like the skin and bones. Thankfully, their poison isn't deadly to us, but their razor sharp fangs can still do some damage. They can actually puncture our skin. Oh, and I forgot, they can grow up to a foot wide. Try smashing that with your boot.
At number 2, we have the giant marine isopod. These things are frickin' scary as hell, but at the same time remind me of that Pokemon Kabuto. Anyone else see it? Anyway, these massive woodlice-like creatures can be found at the bottom of the sea floor. They can survive at depths of 500 meters and can reach sizes of up to 30 centimeters from head to tail. They were first discovered in 1879 by French zoologist Alphonse Milne Edwards in the Gulf of Mexico. They eat pretty much whatever falls to the bottom of the seafloor, and since many things don't survive at those depths, it doesn't really have any predators. Apparently they are not as harmful as they look, but not much is known about these creatures just yet. Although their metabolism is very slow. Apparently a giant isopod was kept in captivity in Japan and survived 5 years without eating. A couple of reasons for its size is that deep sea creatures need to carry more oxygen, as well as don't have many other predators, which leads to them flourishing and growing in size. In the end, even though these guys are quite harmless, I think that's all I need to know about them for now, because I'm happy to have them stay on the seafloor where they are far, far, far away from me.
Number 1, remember that scary bird I mentioned before? Yeah, the cassowary. For those of you who aren't Canadian, you may not understand the fear Canadians have of Canadian geese. They are territorial, vicious, and they poop everywhere. But I would take hissing cobra chickens over cassowaries any day. They can grow to heights over 6.6 feet and weigh just over 190 pounds. But it's claws we are really afraid of. Their claws can, and have, gutted human beings with one slice, and their pets. When you walk, they follow. If you run, they run after you. Though they are usually pretty shy, but if you get on their bad side or meet one that just knows it can take you, g'day mate. They also look equal parts beautiful and insane, like the Harley Quinn of the emu family, but not nearly as charming. They also make this sound. That's a nope. That's a nope! They're recognized by their ostrich-like shape. I said emu earlier, I actually meant ostrich. They live in Australia, so if you needed to know about one more thing on that continent that could kill you, man, now you know.